if you're talking to someone and you can get them to lean forward and place their ears over top of their heart, you're probably going to get them to confess to something.
Ah, yeah, but,
Why?
and to that degree, I didn't understand it, but I do remember in some of the training I had and in practical experience that there's a thing that happens that we always watched for, that if that body language goes forward like that, and that's neat. That I'd never heard it described that way. But if you had that happen, then you made sure you didn't interrupt anything, and you made
So
sure.
why is that, Eddie? That
Because people will start to get smaller. Okay, they'll start to lean forward. You'll see them bring their arms in closer to their body, and they'll lean forward. The ears will go over their heart. So they're starting to, that cognitive load is really starting to increase, and they need some kind of relief. So when you start seeing those defeated gestures, worst thing you can do is interrupt them.
Amen.
Most confessions come in a one-word confession. Right? I, personally, myself, and David may have, and he's probably done a lot more interviews than I have, and this may have happened to him, but it's never happened to me. I've never walked in and said, "Hi, I'm Detective Pearson." "Okay, you caught me. I did it. I did it." I've never had anybody say that.
The closest, can I share?
Of
And it
course,
blew my mind.
please
The
do.
closest I had to that is we had a Hispanic man found beat to death up by the Hope Center on Loudon. We ended up identifying that guy, and I remember we had an interpreter, and this is back before we had somebody on staff, but we had a guy that was helping. And I remember before we went in the room, I told him, I said, "Listen, we're going to be in there a long time, especially with us interpreting back and forth." And I told him what we were going to do and everything. And I go in and I sit down, and I have him line by line go through Miranda and whatnot with the guy. And I swear to God, the guy said something in Spanish, and the interpreter looked over and he goes, I said, "What'd he say?" And he goes, "I fucked him." And he didn't mean it like, now that's foul language, but I about fell out of the chair. But the guy did the sign of the cross before he did it, right? And he was, and that body language was there and everything. But it was, so back to that point, I've had it happen one time.